Hi everybody, Andy Kravlicher here. Now a couple of days ago something interesting showed up in the mail and I wanted to wait to open it until I could talk about it to you guys. It's from a company called Mass Effects and it's run by a guy called Mark from Illinois, and it's a custom pedal. A custom pedal based on a pedal that I've been looking for a very long time. Now you guys know I use this Soldano SLO-30 as the main source of my sound, but like any high gain amp, it could use with a little boosting. I'm going to give you an example. So this is the amp without my trusty Boss SD1 boost. Still sounds like a cool sound, you know. When you turn the boost on, it just tightens up the lower end and brings out a little bit more gain and shapes the tone a little bit. And the SD1 has been my go-to for a number of years for the reason that it has this very distinct roar, and it has this very cool crispy top end, and it has this very tight low end. It doesn't have as much of a mid-range honk, and also like smoother distortion because it's asymmetrical than a tube screamer would usually have. And so I got my eyes on this pedal called the VFE Ice Scream. Now the Ice Scream was a take on a tube screamer pedal by a company called VFE, but that also allowed you to put high pass filters and low pass filters. The low pass filter before the distortion, high pass filter after the distortion, similar to what the VFE Standout, VFE Focus were, and eventually became popular in circuits like the Fort and Tempest. The advantage of that is that it actually gives you the ability to shape the lower shelf and the higher shelf, and the Ice Scream also had a mid-range control that could allow you to shape the kind of mid-range hump that the overdrive pedal would have. Trouble is, VFE stopped making pedals a couple of years ago, and these are really rare on the used market. So I got in touch with this guy Mark over Reddit, and he basically said, is there anyone who would build me a VFE Ice Scream? And it just so happens that he answered and said, I'll build you one, and here it is. So before we get to the pedal, I'll do a little unboxing, but he also sent together with the pedal, handwritten thank you note, which is always really cool. Mass Effects, thank you note as well, and some stickers, a fridge magnet, postcard of all of the stuff. And in case you haven't heard of the company Mass Effects, they're most known for making a harmonic trem pedal called the Expanse, which is an amazing pedal. Harmonic trem is one of the effects I really love to use on crunch and low gain tones. And he also sent me this Christmas card, which is really cool. So kind of like signed by his family, and just, Merry Christmas from our family to yours. Best wishes, Mass Effects. So that's really cool. But I figured let's dive into the box, and then when we've dived into the box, we can look at the sound and see what we like. I haven't listened to this pedal, haven't plugged it in, haven't so much as looked at it, so you'll be discovering it at the same time that I am. It's called an ISVRÅL, which is the Swedish word for ice scream. And just like the SD1, it's going to have asymmetrical clipping as standard, but it actually comes with a number of clipping choices you can make. So it's either no clipping at all, a diode lift, or it's symmetrical clipping, 2 diodes up, 2 diodes down, or asymmetrical clipping, 1 up and 2 down, which is what I've got it set to standard, and 1 up and 3 down asymmetrical clipping. Also comes with a little pin. It says Mass Effects, which is really cool. And this really awesome, bag, which is in this velvet-like material. And out of the bottom spill a couple more stickers. There's a headstock sticker. There is a cassette tape sticker and a Mass Effects guitar pick. It's not as big as one of my triangles, but Now, the cool thing is Mark and I worked on the design of this pedal together. So he actually got me to pick the color of the enclosure, to pick the color of the knobs, the type font, the color of the LED, everything. And the result was, drum roll, this. This is the ISVRÅL. It's in Soldano purple, so it's going to go great with my amp. It's basically got 6 knobs. They're tone, gain, clip. Gain is the volume, because that's the scientific term, and you guys know me, I'm a scientific kind of guy. Clip is the diode clipping, so that's actually drive. And then you have the low pass filter, the mid control, and the high pass filter in the lower section as this kind of EQ section. Awesome blue LED in the circle of the Swedish letter Å in ISVRÅL, and a nice bypass switch with this kind of round nut on it. And as I said, I haven't heard a single instance, a second. I haven't even plugged this pedal in until I had this video going with you guys. So I wanted to discover this with you guys today. Now, as you can see on the secondary video feed, I have my SD1 set in more or less the traditional kind of tube screamer boost setting. It's basically almost all the way up with level, almost all the way down with drive, and it's got quite a little bit of top end with the tone knob. And let's remind ourselves what this does to the tone. So if we turn off the overdrive, it'll sound like this. And with the overdrive on, quite a bit more, girth and punch and everything else. But let's switch this out. I'm gonna unplug the SD1, plug in the ISVRÅL in the exact same position, and let's see what happens. All right, and we're back. The ISVRÅL is now plugged in exactly the same way that the SD1 was. I had a very, 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 very quick play around with the controls. Nothing huge. I just basically set it to the same settings as the SD1 used to have. So the tone is a little bit of the way up past 12 o'clock. The gain, that is to say the volume, is almost all the way up. The clip or the drive is almost all the way down. And then I had basically the EQ control set in the middle. So again, if we remind ourselves, the amp with no boost is this. Already such a great sound, Soldano, amazing. And then we turn on this Soldano purple ISVRÅL, and it's going to be. Now, the cool thing about this is that the pedal copies the most extensive version of the VFE Ice Scream pedal, which was called the sherbet version. It came in 3 flavors originally. Vanilla was just a clean boost. Mint was the basically standard tube screamer sound. And then sherbet was the one that had the most volume, the most gain, and the most EQ range. So these EQ controls you could basically destroy your tone with. So you got to be really careful with them. And so I've already found that basically if I go to the low pass filter and the mid control and I'm too aggressive with them, they're going to make quite a bit of difference. And also the volume is a lot louder than the SD1. So it's actually really easy for me to clip the in signal from the line out of this SLO. So if we just play around with that for a bit, I'll show you guys. The drive control has a lot of range as well, so it basically goes from very, very low clipping but in this kind of boosting environment, that really doesn't count for much because we're usually using the gain very low. And then the tone shaping controls in the lower shelf, the mids in the middle, go all the way from a pretty scooped sound and then the low pass filter. That was the high pass filter, the low cut. Put that out to the extreme, it'll cut all the low end. And this way, it'll keep all the low end. High pass filter. The low pass filter, the high cut, sorry, will do the same thing. See, I'm not used to this pedal yet. You notice the noise goes up with the treble as well because the treble is post distortion. So if it's pretty quiet here, you turn it up, the noise goes up as well. Probably somewhere around here, I guess. And if we remind ourselves just what the amp sounds like again with no boost, suddenly it's going to sound pretty empty, isn't it? Now the cool thing about this is that you have competing, tone controls, low pass, high pass, mid push. You can basically make this sound like any overdrive you want. It really goes well with everything, and I have to say Mark was amazing all the way through the custom pedal process. He gave me so much choice as to the enclosure, the size, the nut, top and side jack and everything that there was. And I'm super happy with it. So I look forward to discovering more about this pedal in the next couple of installments of these videos. Next time you see me playing a video cover or a video playthrough, it's probably going to be through the ISVRÅL, or it's definitely going to be through the ISVRÅL. And what I really love about it is that it gives me the best that the SD1 gave me for years and years, and it gives me slightly more tweakability with EQ and so on, so that I don't have to waste blocks in the helix or waste, plug-in space in my DAW or whatever, and can just plug into this and then plug into the amp and just have a great sound coming all the way out. So just for reference, the sound chain today was this Caparison TAT Special 7 FM going into the ISVRÅL pedal, going into the SLO-30, into the Masterplant A2XR load box and attenuator, line out into my Steinberg UR22, and straight into Cubase. There is absolutely no post-processing on the Cubase track whatsoever. So you're just hearing the raw guitar sound exactly as it comes out of the amp, with an IR on it that is an IR of this cabinet. So you're getting the same sound in the video basically that I'm getting in the room. So that's as close as I can get to giving you guys the in the room sound. So let's play a little bit more. Great sustain as well, huh? All right, guys, until next time, my name is Andy Kravlich. I'll see you later. I'm going to go on having fun with this pedal. Great fun. Thank you so much, Mark, for being such a cool partner in making this pedal together, and let's see where it goes from here. ISVRÅL for the win, guys. See you later. Bye.